I'm so happy this morning because we have a very impressive person here. Duncan Trussell is at the Comedy Works downtown tonight through Saturday, and you should absolutely see him do his live show. But we're lucky to have you with us this morning. How are you?
I'm great. I'm better now. It's great to be here.
Well, we're very happy to have you. You're here to do Comedy Works, and look, almost every single show sold out.
That's right. We have some tickets for the second show Saturday left.
That's impressive. You've got some fans out there.
I'm so lucky.
Yeah, that's
Plus,
really
the Comedy
cool.
Works is the best club ever.
It really is. You know, everybody that comes through here and that's going to be at Comedy Works, they all say the same thing, and they always give a shout out to Wendy, and they talk about how amazing she is.
Yeah, we all revere the Comedy Works. It's a perfect club. It's a wonderful place.
Well, if you haven't been catching up with Duncan lately, he's got a wild mind, but I love it because you bring up a lot of perspectives and theories that I'm always like, wow, that is actually quite true. But what's on your mind lately?
Lately, I've been thinking a lot about how we're going to have to deal with an intersection of artificial intelligence, creating personalities based on our deceased loved ones, populating virtual reality with them, and then we're going to have to deal with how that's going to affect human society when you're going to be able to hang out with your parents again if they've passed and talk to them, and the AI is going to make it seem like they're your parents.
Oh my goodness. Well, how do you feel about that?
I feel creeped out because in the book of Revelations, it talks about how the dead will rise again in the last days. And, you know, we all thought it was going to be zombies, not like you're going to be in the Facebook metaverse with your grandmother trying to sell you like Pepsi while she talks to you.
Oh my goodness, that's quite a visual there.
I love you so much. Have you considered getting a new Verizon plan? It's spooky, but awesome.
It's very spooky. But you see, you also have theories where you believe, and again, I'm not saying I don't believe this, but it does make me question things, right? When you've said that we all had past lives in the form of everything.
Yes.
Explain that a little bit.
Well, I think the best way to understand that is just to recognize that you have past lives in this life. Like if you look back to when you were younger, if you look back, I went through a mild Smiths phase where I was wearing a trench coat and was kind of into Morrissey. That might as well be another life, you know, not to mention when you're a kid, you're in a completely different body than you are now. So we've gone through many lives already while we're alive here. I think it's, I would be surprised if that pattern didn't continue into the future. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised because I'd be dead eternally. But
you'd come back to life. See, what do you think you were in a past life?
Yeah. You know what? I imagine that I was probably annoying. I feel like I was a yappy, annoying witch, maybe. I don't know. But hopefully I'm getting better. You know, it's hard to say. I've met people who can remember their past lives. And
that's crazy. It's cool.
It's cool, yeah. And it's interesting because usually they won't, they're quite secretive about it, as opposed to like some people who are like, I was Napoleon, I was Joan of Arc, or whatever, blah, blah. No, you weren't, stop. But the people who really remember it, they don't really talk about it. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I could see you channeling all kinds of past lives, but this kind of brings it to who you are and all the things that you talk about. With that said, let's talk about Family Hour. I've watched a bunch of the episodes.
Thank you.
We were just talking about one of my favorites. But how did that come about, and how on earth do you come up with some of these subjects that you're going to cover?
Oh, thank you for asking. Well, you know, I've been podcasting for a long time. I've been podcasting from the time when you had to tell someone what a podcast was before they would come on the show. So, you know, in the course of all the podcasts I've done, I've just been lucky to get some really cool guests who have like very fascinating worldviews. And the more conversations like that you have, the more you expand or change for the better or the worse. So.
That's absolutely right, and they've all had very interesting things to say, but you do have a very unique perspective on life. Do you feel like that came out of so many experiences that you've lived through, or how did that all come about?
You know, I had a wonderful mom, and so there were all these spiritual books everywhere. After the divorce, she started dating new age dudes, which was a nightmare. Birkenstocks, videos of like them channeling channeling aliens or whatever. It was an embarrassment.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
She got out of that phase. I'm not saying Birkenstocks are bad. It's just when they're attached to the feet of someone who's like, you know, sleeping with your mom. It's like, come on. But luckily, they introduced her to a lot of interesting ideas. So we always had cool books around, and I would read them. And we'd sit around the dinner table and have the weirdest conversations. So I think I got lucky because I had a wonderful philosophical mom.
That's wonderful. And you were able to take some of those interesting conversations, and I'm sure some of it stayed with you, at least the parts that made sense, right?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think so. I like to believe it.
Yeah.
Also, lots of acid when I was a kid.
Oh, well, there you go.
Not anymore.
That explains
but in
a
the
lot.
early days, you know.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. And you know what? We were just talking about how certain life lessons also kind of bring you to where you are in life. And that's one of the things I do love about you, Duncan, that you just say it like it is. And it's always very interesting. Okay.
Thanks.
What do you like about performing right here in the Mile High City?
Oh my God. Well, again, the Denver Comedy Works is a kind of cathedral for stand-up comedy. It's a perfect room. Some rooms are like maybe a little too echoey, or some rooms are, they just have their own problems. The Comedy Works, it's like a finely tuned instrument. So when you're performing there, you get to experience like being in a world-class stage. And obviously the crowds here are just the best comedy crowds ever.
How do you prepare? I would imagine there's some kind of measuring the crowd and see what their vibe is. How do you prepare to? I feel like comedy, stand-up comedy is one of the hardest things ever.
Yeah, well, what I do, I go to the hotel, I get into bed, and I curl up in the fetal position and experience varying phases of nausea, nervousness, terror. Then I push myself out of bed, and then I write, and then I go and do the show. And then I love it when I get on stage. But my preparation is like a neurotic vortex as I wonder, like, what am I doing? How did this happen to me? I gotta go on stage soon.
I gotta get out of this real soon.
Yeah.
So I would imagine the stage is like, whew, where it all happens.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the same thing happens when you die.
Okay.
Yeah, your whole life, all your worries, all your terror, all your fear, all this stuff, when you finally let go of your body, I think you get this incredible, wonderful moment of realizing, what was I afraid of?
That's something to look forward to for sure. Well, we can't
look
wait
forward
to see
death.
you. Well, you put a positive note on it, right? I want to have that. All right, thank you so much, Duncan. We can't wait to see you on stage.
Thank you.
Works, and don't go anywhere because I've got some questions for you, buddy. All right, catch the man, the mystery, Duncan Trussell at the Comedy Works downtown. It's tonight through Saturday. For tickets and info, go to comedyworks.com and go now because this man is selling out real quick.